The Lucie Stern Theater's auditorium seats 428 people. And the parking lot for the entire Lucie Stern Community Center has only enough spaces for 95 vehicles. So even forgetting the performance cast, crew, ushers and other building workers, if every car carries 4.5 people to see a show, there's usually no big parking problem. But if the city of Palo Alto has rented out the center's ballroom for an event with 300 guests, and maybe the community room for 100 to 125 people, those parking spaces fill quickly. And if it's a Sunday, with a theater matinee happening at the same time the Junior Museum and Zoo is teeming with families who parked in the same lot, and maybe there's also a wedding reception in the ballroom, the problem is magnified. Yes, parking can be a bear around Lucie Stern some days, though not all its users consider that an unbearable problem. And although city officials empathize with patrons who have to trek a few blocks, they don't see an urgent need to provide more parking spaces. In fact, they're counting on visitors to leave their cars behind and instead get to the center by riding public transit, bicycling or even walking. Phil Santora, executive director of TheaterWorks Silicon Valley, which currently is staging Around the World in 80 Days at the Lucie Stern Theater, said he doesn't even bother looking in the lot first. He just parks on Middlefield Road, across the street. Except, of course, when recent construction on that busy street eliminated street parking for a few weeks. Santora said TheaterWorks sends a notice to ticket buyers when an event has been booked for the ballroom suggesting they look for parking on the streets surrounding the center. Parking has been known to be completely filled for at least 3 blocks in every direction from the center during multi-event days. Other nearby users of the parking lot and the streets include the Palo Alto Children's Theater, the Lou Henry Hoover Girl Scout House and visitors to Rinconada Park's open trails and recreation area. When work begins on the just-approved reconstruction and remodeling of the Junior Museum and Zoo, possibly in June, a third to a half of the parking lot will be closed off for an estimated 18 months. The problem is real, said Jose Luis Moscovich, general director of West Bay Opera, which stages 3 operas a year in the Lucie Stern Theater. I am the first person to support the Junior Museum and Zoo and their project. It is fabulous that they can get the renovation done. But the parking lot is already oversubscribed. Reducing it further without a way to make up for that capacity is really a problem. It behooves the city to make up that capacity. West Bay Opera is already seeking its own solutions, such as bundling the cost of tickets with the cost of transportation, perhaps via Uber or taxi cabs. But that's easier said than done when the questions of insurance and logistics are considered, Moscovich said. Probably a program of shared rides would work. But logistically, we could only do it if we have a critical mass of people who want to subscribe to it. He said a shuttle might be a solution, but noted that public transportation options are not particularly easy for our kind of audience to avail themselves of.